G'day guys and welcome back to Montage Sports. Today I'm going to be doing my first cricket video on the channel and I am going to be previewing the 2021 T20 Cricket World Cup, which is going to be an absolute banger of a tournament. It's the 7th edition of the tournament and it's going to be played in Oman and the UAE in October and November of this year. It's going to be played at Dubai International Stadium in Dubai, Sharjah International Stadium in Sharjah, Sheikh Zayed International Cricket Stadium in Abu Dhabi, and the Oman International Academy Ground, which is going to be obviously going to be played in Oman. And it's going to be a bit of a different tournament. It's going to be hopefully there's going to be crowds there, but it's going to be played in the Middle East, which is not really a cricket place, but it was meant to be in Australia, and then it was moved to India because of COVID. And then the stuff that's going on in India is mental. Like, it's so sad to be seeing hundreds of thousands of people dying every day, and no wonder they moved it to the UAE and Oman. So it's going to be a bit of a different tournament, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it is a really good tournament. Now, a total of 45 games will be played between 16 teams, and 8 teams will be playing the first 12 games to qualify for the Super 12s. And I think it's the top team that goes the top team from each pool of the Super 12s will go through to the next stage, probably most likely the grand finals. And now I am going to be previewing each team, having a look at each team, not every team, but the top 8 teams out of the 16 teams. So I've got Australia, I've got England, India, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan, West Indies, and Bangladesh. So those 8 teams. So why don't we get straight into it? So Australia, my team, of course, because I live in Australia, and massive boost of Warner, Smith, Maxwell, Stoinis, Cummins, and Richardson coming back. I think I lost 5-0 to Bangladesh without all of those stars. And that's going to be a massive boost of those 6 absolute guns. Title chances are boasted by the inclusions of those players. And Australia, we're in for a chance. Our player to shine, Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell is a great 2020 player, brings that swagger. And he can just do anything. Reverse sweep sixes, reverse just left-handed sixes. He's a right-hand batsman. He can do anything. He's just an unorthodox batsman, and that swagger he brings to the team and the country, it's just awesome. And he stands out as a 2020 player. He loves the big stage, and I love him as well. I love him as a cricketer. He's so good. And our surprise packet, I'm going to be doing one of these for every team. Surprise packet for the series. I'm going to go with young Ashton Agar. He's a left-arm spinner. He took 6 for 30 against New Zealand earlier in the year, and I think it's going to be his breakout tournament. Like, he can do anything. Well, he can't do anything. He can't do everything, but taking a 6 for earlier in the season against a batting lineup like New Zealand, that's unreal. And he is a pretty good batsman. He's an all-rounder, and he can bat, he can bowl. He's a very good player. And the captain, Aaron Finch, he has got to play his role. He's got to hit runs, but he can't just get out too consistently, too easy. And he's not a test player, but he's a 2020 ODI player. He's a limited overs player. And if he can take his role, if he can play his role, that would be a great performance on his behalf. Now on to England, team that Australia will be playing in the Ashes. And big players, Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, are out of the tournament. They're injured, and they are both massive exclusions from the side. Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, 2 great all-round players. They play tests. They're great tests. They're great at ODIs, and especially at 2020s, they can smack the ball anywhere. And Jofra Archer, another player, they're just going to lose that hype and that swagger from a player like Jofra Archer and another player like Ben Stokes. And big hitters, Josh Butler, Joe Root, Liam Livingstone, and Owen Morgan are going to be in the side, which is going to be a great thing for the English cricket team. Player to shine, Dawood Malan, rated last year by the ICC as the best T20 batsman in the comp. He should have a breakout tournament, and he should have a great tournament. He should play really well, should hit a lot of runs, and I will not be surprised if he's up there for most runs hit in the tournament. Now, surprise packet, Liam Livingstone. I think he's only played a couple of T20 internationals for England. I think he might have played 2 or 3, but he can hit the ball a long way. He can hit the ball hard. He can hit a lot of runs quite quickly. And if England can put him in their side, if he has a spot in their side, I think England are going to have a massive power hitter on their hands. I've seen him at the Perth Scorchers, and he can do a lot of things other players can't. And their captain, Owen Morgan, he's got to play his role, and he's got to hit a lot of runs. Along with Aaron Finch, he can get out quite consistently, he can get out quite easily. But if he's consistent, if he hits a lot of runs, and because he's a batsman, he's a wicketkeeper, if he can do all that, then England are going to have a great tournament. Now on to India, the favourites for the tournament, and MS Dhoni has come in to mentor the squad. I don't know. I don't know if that means he's coaching or if it's just to be there just to hype up the players and talk to them. But that's going to be a massive inclusion. And Ravi Ashwin returns. Great spinner. I think he's like 36 years old now, but he just brings a lot of experience to the side. I know he's a slow spinner, but he gets a lot of wickets. Play to shine, Rishabh Pant, your classic 2020 player. He can play a whole variety of shots. Hit like 97 off 100 or something in the test series versus Australia. But he can hit runs quite rapidly, along with Liam Livingstone. He can just whack the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is right up there in the most runs, along with Dawood Malan from England. Surprise packet, Ishan Kishan from the Mumbai Indians. He can hit runs at a rapid rate, along with Rishabh Pant, younger player. But later in his career, he'll be more experienced and he'll definitely become a better player. And the captain, as everybody knows, the best cricketer in the world at the moment, Virat Kohli. And I don't know, this is going to be a bit controversial, but if Virat Kohli wasn't in the Indian side, I think that they'd still definitely be one of the best teams in the world, India. I mean, they'd lose that swagger, they'd lose that hype, but having Virat Kohli in your team, it just boosts it. He's a great captain. He's got to hit runs. He's got to be consistent. I reckon that India will definitely be up there without Virat Kohli. But if Virat Kohli can hit a lot of runs quite consistently, I reckon like when they played Australia, the Indians, I think Virat Kohli, every time he hit 90 or something like that, then India would win. But if he got a duck, Australia would win. But if Virat Kohli can hit runs and he can hit massive scores, then India are definitely going to be in the top 2 or 3 for the tournament, and they're definitely the favourites at the moment. Now on to New Zealanders. Their pace attack has got to get heaps of wickets. And when I mean heaps of wickets, their spinners aren't the best spinners for 2020 cricket. They get smacked around the park, but their pace attack has got to shine. Williamson and Guptill, they have got to play their role. I know that they're not your classic 2020 batsmen. They're your classic test batsmen. But if they can get runs, and lots of runs, the New Zealand are going to be wiped out. I know I'm saying this with every team, but pretty much the same with every team. If your top 2 or 3 leading best batsmen have got to be up there and scoring runs, otherwise you're basically a no-show for maybe the Super 8s or maybe even right up there. But play to shine, Trent Boult, he swings the ball a lot, and as I said before, with the pace attack, he has got to get a lot of wickets. If he does, New Zealand are going to have a massive chance of that title. Surprise packet, Lockie Ferguson, another fast bowler, and if he takes lots of wickets, he is going to be one of those better players in that New Zealand side, and definitely in that New Zealand pace attack. He's fast and he can swing the ball a lot, along with Trent Boult, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a lot of wickets. Captain Kane Williamson, classic test batsman, not the best of 2020, but he needs to apply scoreboard pressure. None of this 12 of 20 or any of that stuff. He needs to get runs, needs to be over 100 strike rate, and if he can do that, he's playing his role. South Africa, and I don't know if they're gonna have that. Definitely not gonna have their best tournament. But last tournament they had De Villiers, Duplessis, Duminy, Stein, Morris, and Tahir, and now they've lost all 6 of those players, and they were great. They were not only great players, but they had a lot of experience, and they were your classic 2020 players. And Kagiso Rabada needs to step up. None of this silly business, none of this just I don't know. He's just gonna be consistent. He cannot. We can stuff up, but he cannot just play bad games. And I know I'm being a bit harsh on the kid, but yeah, Kagiso Rabada, if he can get wickets, if he can step up, then South Africa are going to have a decent tournament. They're not going to win, but they're going to have a decent tournament and play to shine. If Quinton de Kock can hit, if he can get runs, if he doesn't get out too easily for like single figures or just over that, if he can get high like 50s like for most of the season, then South Africa are going to have a decent season. And I know he's experienced, Quinton de Kock, but if he gets there, if he hits his runs, if he doesn't get out too easily, then he is going to have a great tournament. Surprise packet, Lungi Niggity. He is so overrated. They had Dale Steyn, they had Imran Tahir, they have Kagiso Rabada, but Lungi Niggity nobody really talks about. And he gets a lot of wickets, but he's so underrated and nobody really talks about him, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. He's a great player, and he's going to step up this tournament. And their captain, Temba Bavuma, 31 years old, batsman. I think he's the oldest in the squad, which is pretty surprising considering he's only 31 years of age. But like a lot of his other captains, he needs to play his role. Now onto the Pakistanis, and their young spinners need to get wickets. Shadab Khan, he needs to get wickets. Ahmad Wazim, I know he's not that young, but he needs to step up. He needs to get wickets. And their player to shine is Ahmad Wazim. He needs to get wickets. He's a great player. If he can get runs and he can get wickets, then it's going to be a massive, massive player for the Pakistanis. Surprise packet, Haris Rauf. I mean, he's a great player. He's a great 2020 player. And he showed that in the BBL by taking a hat-trick against the Sydney Thunder for the Melbourne Stars. He's a great player, took a lot of wickets, and takes a lot of wickets in the BBL. And if Pakistan give him a go in their team, in their starting 11, if they do that, then I think that he will play a massive role in that pace attack and in that team, and I think that he will keep his spot in the team and definitely in that 2020 squad. And their captain, Babar Azam, one of the best batsmen in the world, one of the best 2020 batsmen in the world. He has got to shine. He has got to step up. He's got to step up the plate, and he has got to hit a lot of runs. I know I'm saying this for most of these batsmen, like hit a lot of runs. They got to play their role. Babar Azam, if he can hit like runs at a rapid pace, and if he can just smack the ball around without getting out too easily, that is going to be a godsend for the Pakistanis. West Indies now, the defending champions and one of the favourites for this year's tournament. I mean, they're not very good at the tests and at the ODIs, but their 2020 squad, boasted with stars like Chris Gale, Andre Russell, Dwayne Bravo. These 2020 players who go all around the world just to play 2020. They are just able for something outstanding experience, this squad, and it's just so good. But yeah, the squad full of 2020 stars. Player to shine, Andre Fletcher. I think that it's his time to shine. He's a massive hitter. He can hit the ball a long way, and I know he's a bit young, he's a bit inexperienced, but he can hit the ball a long way. And if he doesn't get out, if he stays in, if he plays consistently, then he will definitely have a great tournament, and he will go a long way with the West Indies in their tournament. Surprise packet, Nicholas Pooran. He's a bit of a unsung hero, if you could say that. He doesn't get a lot of attention, but I was watching the BBL and last summer, and he is a great 2020 batsman, especially for the Melbourne Stars. And he just hits a lot of runs, and he can play ramp shots. He can do all the stuff that players like Glenn Maxwell can do. And Glenn Maxwell also plays for the Stars, so that's a great duo there. And their captain, Kyron Pollard, he's one of the best 2020 players of all time. He's not the best, but he's definitely up there for one of the best. And if he can bring that experience and play well, that's going to be massive for the West Indian side. And finally, last team, Bangladesh, and they're going to be entering the competition full of confidence, beating Australia 5-0 and New Zealand 3-2 on their home turf. If Bangladesh can make it to the Super 12, it's going to be good. I think they will, but they have just got to, all of their players just got to play their role. As I said, for most of these teams and players, but if they can do that, it's going to be great. Play to shine. Pretty much every year, Shakib Al Hasan, he's their best player and great spinner, great batsman. And if he can combine those and have an outstanding tournament, Bangladesh are going to have an outstanding tournament. And a surprise packet, Mustafiza Rahman, I think he's their fast bowler. And I mean, if he can take wickets, if he can stand out, that's going to be great. And finally, their captain, Mohamed Dalla, don't think he has a first name, but he has got to be a great leader, and he's got to take wickets. He's got to hit runs, he's got to take wickets. I think he's an all-rounder, I'm not 100% sure, but if he can take wickets, and if he can lead this young Bangladeshi side, that is going to be it's going to be a breakout tournament for the Bangladeshi team. And finally, I'm going to predictions now. I'm going to be doing most runs, most wickets, and the champions for this year's 2021 T20 Cricket World Cup. The most runs is going to be Indian wicketkeeper batsman Rishabh Pant. And as I said earlier, I said they were going to be their players that shine, their best player in the tournament. He's a great wicketkeeper, he's a great batsman, and he's going to hit the most runs in the tournament. He can hit the ball anywhere, and he can hit runs at a rapid pace, and that is why I think that he is going to hit the most runs. And the most wickets from New Zealand, Trent Boult. He swings the ball a lot. He's a hard player to face. And if you were down the other end facing someone like Trent Boult, you'd just be, I don't know how to describe it. You'll be scared. You'll be nervous. But Trent Boult, he just swings the ball. He's so fast, so consistent. And if he can keep that up in this tournament, it is going to be great for New Zealand. And finally, the grand final, I think the first v second, it will be West Indies versus India, and the champions for the 2021 T20 Cricket World Cup will be India. This is because they're great. They got a great squad. All their players are not only experienced, but they can. The Indian Premier League has helped all their players a lot. All their talent has come from the Indian Premier League. And I think that the MVP, which is the best on ground for the grand final, is going to be none other by the Indian skipper, Virat Kohli. And I think that he's going to play a massive game because he loves that big stage. And he loves that swagger. He loves that. He's got massive confidence in himself, but in the team. And that is why I think that India will win the 2021 T20 Cricket World Cup. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Go follow the socials, and hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.